Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving my review for a Violent Night. Um, Now, I was excited for this one. I kept my expectations low, but I was excited for it. Um, David Harbour as Santa, he looked great in the role. I thought he fit the Santa persona very well. John Leguizamo, his character's name was Scrooge. I thought he was good in this film as well. Beverly D'Angelo played Gertrude. She was the one that Scrooge was uh, uh, coming after, robbing. That you mean that's no big surprise. It's in the trailer. She's the one uh, she's robbing. Um, my issues with this is, and what makes this disappointing is first off, the characters. You only have two likable characters in this whole movie. Two. That's David Harbour as Santa and a little girl in this movie. That's I can't remember. I didn't write her name down. I can't remember what it was, but she's Beverly D'Angelo's character's granddaughter, and she's a likable character. She sets up these booby traps like in Home Alone because she just watched Home Alone, so she wanted to have some fun and set up traps for some of the bad guys. But they're the only two likable characters, and that's one of the big problems for me with this film is when your only two likable characters is Santa and a little girl, and Santa's supposed to be saving this family, but you hate the family more than you hate the actual bad guys that's in the movie.
That's sad.
Yeah, that's sad. That's very bad. Who decided to write it that way? I don't know. The only other character I could say that was sort of likable was the little girl's mom. She had some likability. Um, but everybody else, like, they drove me insane. They were just very horrible characters. Um, I wanted to see them gone just as much as I wanted to see our actual bad guys gone. Um, and they try to do this thing towards the end where they try to redeem the characters in a way, but it doesn't work. It's ridiculous and does not work. Um, the pacing for the first half or so of the movie is kind of slow. There's not a lot that happens. Um, and then once he gets the hammer, the sledgehammer, and shit really hits the fan, that's when it gets really fun. And that's when I really got into it. And it sort of took my mind off of the horrible characters for a little bit. But with that being said, the character of Santa made no sense. They gave him a backstory of him being a Viking warrior, this guy who could crush three people's heads with a hammer at one time. And the first little bit of this film, he could barely fight. I mean, he still won his fights, but he struggled. And then it's like all of a sudden, it's almost like Thor with his mighty hammer. As soon as he gets the sledgehammer, he all of a sudden becomes a completely different person. He's able to take on these groups of people left and right, no issues. And it just didn't make no sense to me. It never really they never explain how he became Santa, how he ended up from a Viking person to Santa. I don't remember them saying how he did that, how that transition happened. Um, he he happened to mention multiple times that he still don't understand how the Christmas magic works, like, and he makes sure he emphasizes that multiple times throughout the movie. They Another thing I didn't like was there's there's a scene where he eventually he'll like touch his nose and
What it is?
what?
ABC Network on the 14th. They are doing a first ever Backstreet Boys Christmas TV special, and you can stream it the next day on Hulu and Disney Plus.
Oh boy.
Listen, it is my Backstreet Boys. You'll leave me alone.
But he will touch his nose and almost like I Dream of Genie or something, or Bewitched, which I think,
Bewitched, yeah.
as I said, but does she like wiggle her nose?
She does, yeah.
And it's supposed to like shoot him up the chimney and stuff. Well, it's like all of a sudden it doesn't work, and then as the movie goes on a little bit, it works again once it's convenient for the scene, and he needs to escape. Which, to me, it didn't work for me, really. The deers, his deers do take off. His reindeer do take off, leave him behind. But they do show obviously back up at the end. I mean, obviously he'd have to continue on delivering the presents. That's no big surprise. But I felt like this movie could have been so much more. Like it felt like they held back too much or something. I don't know. Like I said, David Harbour was amazing. The cinematography was good. The acting, I mean, I guess I could say it was good, even though I hated most of the characters. The gore, once you finally got kills, was really good, especially the death of John Leguizamo's character, Scrooge. That was probably the most awesome kill we got. But now what? Oh, good lord. But in the end, this was just kind of a disappointment. I still gave it a 3 out of 5. That's a very generous 3 out of 5. I just expected I expected more. I could have gone. I would have rather had given me likable characters that I can actually fear for, that I want to see survive. Give me Santa killing these people. I mean, there was plenty of people. He could have killed people throughout the entire film, non-stop. But it just, or even if like maybe if they gave us likable characters that were being held hostage, maybe it could not have made the movie feel so slow in the beginning. But just with those unlikable characters, it really dragged that first little bit. And on top of that, I didn't fully find this funny. There was a couple moments where I laughed, but nothing like I was hoping for. And for me, it's just a disappointment. I wanted more from it. I wanted it to be a little bit different. I think there could have been some changes made, a little bit more, spread the kills out a little bit more, make them to where you see them all really well. The kills where they're not like cutaway kills in a sense. And I would have even loved to have seen Mrs. Claus had to have come in and helped Santa to take down these people. I thought that could be an interesting thing they could have done.
Yeah, why does no one ever put Mrs. Claus in a situation like that? Like, you would think
I don't know, because the deers, when they come back, there's a note from Mrs. Claus saying like, or something like, you may need this or something like that, and it's his hammer that he used back when I guess he was like a Viking or whatever he was. And I'm like, why couldn't they just bring Mrs. Claus there and have her team up with Santa and them take down these people? You know, that way he ain't doing it himself. But I don't know. I just feel like they could have done so much more. But like I said, 3 out of 5. Um, don't see this being a yearly Christmas watch for me. But if you enjoyed it, that's great. I know a lot of people have loved this, and I was not able to shut my brain off with this one and just enjoy the kills, unfortunately. So, but that is everything for my review for Violent Night. So please comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified for our videos, and we'll see you all in the next one.